Begin by asking Coach Browse for some comments, and then we'll go to questions for him.
First of all, I'm extremely proud and honored to sit up here by these, four gentlemen that are up here beside me, student athletes that, are great human beings, first of all and foremost, and that's what's important in the long run. I mean, the thing we talked about in the dressing room, I'm extremely disappointed in myself. I don't think I did a good job. I'm not sure we were prepared like we need to be prepared. We had mistakes tonight that we had, I can't remember the last time we had this many penalties that seemed to continue the game in a fashion not favorable for us. But that aside, it's like I told them, would we rather have not to won the Big 12 championship, not to be in this atmosphere, not to be in this game? I'd rather take the chance. I'd rather take the chance, put our heart and soul out there in front of America and, see what happens. Didn't happen the way we wanted it to happen. I mean, we caught a football team that was hot, played extremely well early, and got into us. We tried to play catch up the whole game, never could, turn it around when it needed turning. So I give them credit for that. Extremely proud of our football team and our university. I'm just disappointed at all the people that, took a lot of time and effort and energy to come out here and support us, because we had a great crowd tonight, and it's disappointing for us, for them.
Okay, let's go to questions for the coach. Please raise your hand. Start here in the front, in the second row. Please identify yourself.
Yeah, Brian Davis from the Austin American Statesman. Art, did you feel like the interception in the end zone was a big missed opportunity for momentum? And just what are some of the other points along the way where you felt like these were big missed opportunities?
That certainly was one, because I think we might have been down one at the time. Seems like the defense just got a big turnover plus territory around the 20, and we're sitting with the 3rd and 6 on about the 10 or 12 yard line. So if we just maintain, kick a field goal, at least we go into the lead right there. So I think that was it. And then since you ask about some other drive stoppers or starters, depends on which side you're on. I mean, I think we had 2 third down pass interference calls that led to touchdowns, where we could have got off the field and didn't, and they got to continue to drive on and go get a touchdown. So those certainly add up toward the end of the game without any question.
Fourth row.
During the game too.
Pierre Nugent, Casey, and Waco. Coach, you guys seemed like you had a hard time getting a pass rush all game long. Were they just doing a good job protecting the quarterback? Why couldn't you guys get pass rush?
We did. I mean, Eddie and C-Mac, I'm not sure who's up here, Ahmad. We brought pressure quite a bit, and they did a good job protecting. The guy got the ball out of his hand, went to his hot game quite a bit, and, he was accurate. He made some good throws, and, they do a good job protecting him. I mean, we tried some things, had him once, they're late. We got off, made a play for him, but, they played well tonight, without question. They could have beaten a lot of teams tonight.
To the right, coach, first row.
Greg DeVries, Baylor Lariat. I was wondering what effect you think the 1 month layover had between your last game and this game?
The same it had for them. I mean, we both finished up on December 7th, and, it seems like came out, with a little more intensity maybe, but I'm not sure. I mean, just there's so many ebbs and flows of the game. If we get the opening kickoff and we go score, then, maybe it's a different game. We got them to open the kickoff, they go down and score, they get a little momentum and keep it, and we have a chance to get it back there a little bit in the midway through the second and don't, tie it up in the third, and, they get another one. So we were, like I said, we were playing catch up, and I thought, they did a good job.
Right here in front, coach.
Coach Danny Morales of the Valencia Voice. They seem to be running a little bit of a read option there at times. Was that something you were prepared for, or did that catch you guys off guard?
I wouldn't say it caught us off guard. I think they did a real good job with it. They were just running the zone read, most of the night. QB really hasn't carried the ball that much throughout the year, but he was very effective tonight. We didn't tackle as well in space as what we would have liked to, without question, and it consequently came to hurt us.
On the aisle.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Art, you drove down there right at the end of the half and didn't make the field goal. Was that a momentum killer at all?
It certainly doesn't help, in a situation even right there at the end of the game when we're down 10. If we get the onside kick and go tie it up there late, then you go into overtime, So that was a situation where, we needed every point that we could get, especially after, squandering an opportunity earlier in that quarter. But, I mean, it was a 45-yarder, you know, if my memory serves me correct. Middle of the field, 45 yards, you know, that's probably a 70-30 deal with Jones all through the season. 70 make, 30 miss, and just happen not to roll in.
In the middle?
Coach, you mentioned yesterday you felt like the team was comfortable playing in a dome. I'm curious to know, did you notice any strange field conditions? It seemed like it was kind of slippery and wet out for a field that's in a dome. Lake didn't look like he cut as well as he normally does. Did you notice the field conditions were a little bit?
It was a moist field. You know, it was, kind of moist for being an indoor stadium. But I certainly don't think it, really had any effect on the outcome of the game. It wasn't quite as tight and dry as what we've been working out on this week. But, it is what it is. It's for both sides.
On the aisle?
Lee Small, News Channel 25. Coach, I don't remember a time when you guys beat yourself with so many penalties in a crucial game. Going back, when's the last time you, if ever, remember your team having this many, penalties?
I really couldn't tell you. I don't know how many we had. If you're asking me to guess, I'd say 12 to 14 off the top of my head right now. 17. There are a couple that are late that, I mean, our guy gets a late one on the last extra point, which is, a little bit asinine. I mean, that's something that shouldn't happen. That's the only time he's on the field he gets one there. And so, yeah, I mean, I cannot remember the time, that we've had that many penalties in a game, without question. It's certainly hard to overcome.
Questions for Coach Browse before we go to the student athletes? One more here.
Art, other than the read option, was there some stuff either offensively or defensively that they threw at you that you maybe either weren't prepared for or hadn't seen on tape?
Not really. They played the personnel we thought they were going to play. Their schemes were, pretty much in line with what we felt like they were going to do or had been doing for the most of the year. They just executed. They were hot tonight. I mean, they've won some big games this year. I mean, you go to Penn State and win in front of 110, that's good. You go to Louisville and beat them at their place, it's a big win, and so they've been able to kind of flow through and build up and play when they had to rise up and play big games throughout the season. And they certainly did a good job tonight. But, going back to the initial statement, I'm extremely proud of our football team. What they did this year for a first in Baylor history. I mean, it's the seniors have done a tremendous job of setting the standard high, and it's my job and it's our job for those that are going to be there to continue, to try to attain that and surpass it, and that's our motivation right now. I mean, we've got to do a better job. I've got to do a better job with the people we have on campus, the people we have coming in, to reaching that height and then surpassing it.
On the risers, Coach?
Sean Giggy, 254 Sports, Waco. Hey, Coach, you just talked about the history you guys made, and I think there are a lot of people that probably thought if you won this game, you might start next year in the top 4 of the first system of this playoff system. I mean, that not being the case, and with the history that you've made, what is next for Baylor? What happens next year?
Well, we got a good nucleus coming back. We got some guys that played a lot of snaps this year and did a great job for us. We're losing some tremendously outstanding seniors that have provided a lot for us the last 4 years. But I mean, it's right back where where we'd start every year, and that's to become a bowl-eligible football team, to win our conference championship, and then to get ranked as high as we can get and try to get into the playoff system. I mean, that's our 3 goals that we'll attack next year.
Right on the aisle, Coach.
Kristen Keith, Big 12 Digital Network. Coach, you said you didn't have your team prepared. If you had to play the team again next week, how would you prepare them differently?
That's a good question, and that's a little bit of coach speak, when I'm saying that. I think we would have been prepared better if we had held them the opening drive and then we get the ball and go score. If we'd have, won the toss and got the kickoff and go down and scored. So, that might have washed out right there because, every play in every series can be the play of the game. And it's you'd rather play from on top than behind. And most of the time we were, playing that way today. But I don't know what we'd done differently, quite honestly. I think we were fresh, and I think we played very physical. I'm not sure we, played as intelligently as we could and have. But, a lot of that stuff's judgmental, and it's things that are out of our control. And so you got to live with what's called out there and move on.
Right in front.
Art, Tim Griffin with the San Antonio Express News. I wonder if you can talk about what Tevin brought you guys tonight and what happened to Antoine. What was the nature of his injury in the second half?
He actually went down the first half, in the second quarter. And, it's an ankle injury. He tried to come back there in the third. He missed about half the second quarter, tried to come back with doing the ball second play of the third. And, he just couldn't put any pressure on it and go. So he was done. I mean, Tevin, provided a spark for us. I'm disappointed we couldn't get the ball down the field to him and let him, exploit his greatest strength, which is his speed. But, just letting him be back and being involved with us was thrilling enough. I'd rather it come with him having a great game and a win, but at least he was in the locker room through the preparation this week and through the disappointment of tonight.
Anything further for Coach Briles? Okay, let's go to the student athletes. Please address your questions to them specifically, and let us get a microphone to you. Okay, let's start here in the front.
This is for Ahmad. I wonder if you can talk about the frustration of all those penalties you guys got tonight.
As a team, you never want to have a lot of penalties. So, I mean, it's very frustrating. And not just speaking for our defense, but as a team as a whole. I mean, that's very frustrating to have as many penalties as we had. You said we had 17. I mean, I don't know very many ball clubs that can win with 17 penalties in one game. And with a good team like that, what happened tonight is going to happen to you if you have 17 penalties against a team like that.
Before we go to the next question, the Baylor locker room will be open until 11:27. It's 11:10 right now. Open until 11:27. Let's continue here to the left.
Ahmad Joaquin Sanchez, Time Warner Cable News. Bortles, 93 rushing yards, 300 passing yards. How tough was he, obviously, to stop for you guys tonight?
He executed. I mean, I'm not going to take away anything that he did. I mean, he executed every chance he had, every moment he had. He didn't shy away from anything. I mean, he lived up to the hype. I mean, he was everything that everybody said he was. I mean, we just didn't make the plays when our numbers were called. We didn't execute. We really didn't play like ourselves on the defense. Guys weren't tackling as well. Guys were busting coverage. I mean, a lot of things went wrong. I mean, but we're not gonna harp on that. We're gonna learn from it and move forward.
Here in the front.
My question's for Ahmad. Danny Morales of Valencia Voice. You talked about the missed tackles a little bit. Do you think the wet field might have played a little bit of a role in that? Were you guys able to keep your footing throughout the game out there?
Honestly, in a football game, things like that can't matter. And that's something we can't control. We have to go out there and adapt to the situation, adapt to everything. I mean, we can't try to say, oh, we missed tackles because of the field or we missed tackles because of this or that. I mean, we're a football team, and as a defense, that's what we have to do. We have to tackle. We didn't tackle well, so that's what it is. Here in the front.
Yeah, for Brian Davis, the Austin American Statesman. Can you just talk about their defense? What were your thoughts out there as the game was progressing, and just it never seemed like y'all got clicking like you normally do?
Yeah, I think a lot of that falls back on myself. It's about execution when you go out there. The ball's in my hands every time, and so, when we're not clicking, that's something that I have to take control of. They gotta. I mean, they're very well coached. We knew that going in. We were prepared, and we are disappointed in how we played, especially offensively. Defense got 3 turnovers tonight, which is. If you don't capitalize on turnovers, this is kind of what happened. And so, it's hard to be on the offensive standpoint, I guess, on the offensive side, knowing that it could have been a lot different if things would have executed.
Let's go to the riser.
Sean Giggy, 254 Sports Waco. Bryce, as Coach was talking about, you're one of those guys that's going to be back next year. What's next for you? What's next for this team after coming so far this year, but yet ultimately, not winning this game, not getting your goal? What's after this? What do you guys do next year?
Learn from it. Go back, watch tape, regroup. Like Coach said, this is probably one of the best groups of seniors we've had. So it's disappointing, especially for myself, to know that things could have gone different to send them out with a win. But at the same time, it's it's college football, so there's going to be a new group of seniors next year. As for myself, being a leader in that group, that I got to make sure that we come back prepared and ready to go. This is not going to define what this program is and where it's going. I think there's a lot of positive steps being made in this program, and so it's my job to make sure that those things happen. And like I said, we'll learn from it.
Let's go to the third row in the aisle.
Cherry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Bryce, you talked about not taking advantage of defensive turnovers. What happened on the interception? Was that miscommunication, or what happened on that play?
Honestly, just a lack of execution on my part. We've ran that play probably 10 times this year, and it's worked every time. That play is one that you can't force, and I did it, and unfortunately that was the turning point in the game. We needed that to set momentum up for us, and especially it was after a turnover. And so, turnovers in the red zone kill an offense, and so it was a lack of execution on my part. Again, I'll learn from it and get better. Won't let it happen again.
Couple more questions.
Lee Small, News Channel 25. Eddie, as a senior, you can't take away a Big 12 championship, but does this not feel like it should, the way the season's gone throughout, and kind of put a bad taste in your mouth?
I mean, I think we'd be lying if we said that wasn't the case. So it's not a good deal going out with a loss in a big bowl game like this. And we didn't execute on defense tonight, and that when you don't execute and you get to the point of attack and you don't get things done, you can't play good defense. And I think that's really what happened with us tonight. Is we weren't strong at the point of attack.
Final question.
Yeah, Ahmad, Brian Davis from Statesman. As one of the team's leaders and spokesman, so to speak, kind of piggybacking off what Eddie said, does this in any way change how you feel this season has gone? Winning the Big 12 and all the great things that happened, does this damper that to you?
Right now it does. I mean, because we want to come out with a W, and we didn't. But in the long run, I mean, like Coach Brown said, we won the Big 12. That's what we wanted to do. We got a BCS bowl game. That's what we wanted to do. I mean, we made steps towards our goal. We just didn't make the one goal that we set. And like we keep saying, we're going to get better. I mean, even though our seniors are gone, we're going to pass our legacy on to these younger guys, help them learn from this, help them grow from this, and you'll see us back next year.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll be joined momentarily by Coach O'Leary. And for those watching in the press box, the players, student athletes will be Rennell Hall, Blake Bortles, Storm Johnson, Terrence Plummer. For those who might be joining us midstream, please mute or turn off your cell phones and allow us to get a microphone for your questions since we are streaming online. first chair, Coach. Start? Okay, we'll ask Coach O'Leary for some opening comments, and then we'll go to questions for the coach and the UCF student athletes will be joining us in progress. Coach?
Well, obviously it was a great win for UCF, the fan base. Everybody came out from Orlando, and I thought the kids went out and executed what they were coached all week and back on campus. And I think defensively didn't stop them, but they slowed them down enough so our offense could put points on the board. And I thought the offense went out and executed very well pretty much the entire game.
Okay, let's go to questions. Start on the aisle. Second row. Please identify yourself.
Coach Paul Tenorio with the Orlando Sentinel. With everything you've gone through with this program, building it from day one, 10 years ago to this point, what did it mean to you to experience what you experienced in those final seconds and in the celebration on the field, to have won a game on this huge stage?
Well, I'm very happy for the program. I've always deflected everything to the players, and players win football games. Coaches just get them in the right direction, and I'm very happy for the administrator, everybody that's involved with the program. And you get a chance to win a BCS game. It's a great point in any coach's career. And I thought the way the game went today, it was a game that was probably a fun game to watch if you're in the stands. It wasn't a fun game to watch from the sidelines, but I thought it worked out very well. And great win, and we'll take that win back with us to Orlando.
To the right, Coach, in the first row.
Hi, Jishahan J. Raja, Baylor Lariat. I was wondering, what do you think this means for UCF? Do you think this gives you some legitimacy?
Excuse me? What kind of question was that? I mean, some legitimacy? Well, you
nationally, kind of on
Oh, is that
stage.
how you meant it? All right. Geez, I think basically, it gave us some legitimacy. No, I think anytime you win 12 games in a season, it's great for your program, and I think great for everybody that's associated with the program. And and we played a lot of good football teams throughout the years, and did well and proved our legitimacy as far as what was taking place. But again, I think a win like today, I think is great because it's national exposure. It's great for the program. It's great for the players. It's great for the school, just the notoriety you get. And, I don't think you can buy that marketing from anywhere. What should the exposure you get in a game like today. And it's a great win. It's a great feeling for everything done that we, went through the program. I've been there 10 years now, and each year we've chipped away, trying to get a little more things done with the program. And you don't do that unless you have a lot of people that are supporting you, and we did. And again, I think I give all the credit to the players, the assistant coaches that went off and did what they had to get done, and really went after this game and against a really good Baylor team. I thought Baylor was very explosive on offense, solid on defense, and the kids, I thought that team went out and executed very well. Okay.
On the aisle.
Coach Ryan Gillespie, Florida Today. 3 snaps there in the second quarter offensively, 3 turnovers. What does it say about your team to be able to overcome that and still put up 52 points?
It's just sloppy, one after the other. And, the defense saved them on the one with a pick. But again, anytime you turn it over 3 times, usually you're not the winning end of a game. So, I thought the kids were like they have been all year, resilient as far as getting things done, and just kept coming after them. And I thought offensively we changed tempos a little bit went to some fastball ourselves, which helped us. And I thought the second half, and I thought defensively hung in there, and it wasn't always pretty, but I thought the effort to get things done was outstanding.
Here in the front.
Coach Tyler Grady, Night News. 52 points is the most you've ever put up against a ranked opponent. With all the talk about Baylor's offense headed into the game, can you talk about how you were able to have the dominant unit tonight?
Well, I think you got some players coming in you can talk to about that. But I think, anytime you get chunk plays, you get long-distance plays, I think you're going to put the ball in the end zone. I thought we mixed it up, run and pass fairly well tonight, and the kicking game was good. So, again, we scored against ranked opponents that you said, right? Oh, all right. Because we've scored more than 52 against people, all right? But I think just that they put it all together, and as I said earlier in the week, I thought the offense feeds off the defense, and defense feeds off the offense, and they played well together as far as chemistry-wise concerned, and, you know, and it wasn't always pretty, but I think they helped each other out in a lot of different ways with field position.
To the right, Coach.
Mike Bianchi, Orlando Sentinel. Coach, can you just talk about the season in general? It seems like you guys had like 3 or 4 biggest wins in school history, capped off by tonight. Just the demeanor of your team, the always answering the bell, never quitting.
Well, I tell you, we had every big win, I think, in the school history this year. But, you know, you give credit to the players. And as I said earlier, I think, you know, they had resiliency about them. And something that you really can't coach. You know, you can coach, you know, playing hard, but playing hard when things aren't going well is most difficult. And I think they accomplished that. And I was very pleased for them and what they did. And the big thing was we were a young team. We only had the 7 seniors, so a lot of these kids are coming back. And, you know, I hope it was a big lesson learned this year, what happens when you do some good things, the good rewards that you get out of it.
Here in the front.
Coach Danny Morales of the Valencia Voice. You look pretty happy. Just tell me, how long do you get to enjoy this before you have to go back out and it's back to normal for recruiting and then everything else looking forward to next year?
Well, right now with that new dead period with college football, you're not allowed to go anywhere till January 5th, after January 15th, so I'll be around. You know, after that I'll be on the road probably looking at some kids recruiting-wise. But, you know, I'm anxious to get out of here so I can enjoy myself as far as what's going on. And, you know, I've been here all week and I haven't been to the hospitality room yet. So I may pay that a visit tonight.
On the aisle.
Coach, I'm scared that this kind of is going to make you repeat the answer, but when I spoke with Brent Key, who's been with you for over a decade as a player and a coach, he said you've never allowed yourself to have these wow moments where you look at what's been accomplished. It's always what's next. Where are we going to go forward from here? Was there finally that wow moment at some point, or do you start kind of thinking where you can take this program going forward?
Do I look excited? I'm very excited. I just don't show it like you do. All right, I'm very excited, and you know, I'm, you know, but I'm not gonna, you know, there's other things that excite me too. But I think right now I'm excited for just the players, the fans, and just the whole program. And I know how much work went into getting where we had to get to, and how much work the players had to get done to get that where we were. So, but I'm ecstatic, and you know, you never remain the same. You either get better or worse in football, and right away we get back. School starts on Monday the 6th, and we'll be in the weight room on Monday, and you know, there's no time off. We're right back to work. The players really like that. I know they do. I could tell by their faces. They really thoroughly enjoy that stuff. But that's how you get better. You know, there's no time off. And I mean, they're student athletes. That they do well in the classroom, but they also have to understand if you're going to keep improving, then you got to keep working. And that's one thing that we sort of the culture of the program a little bit.
Coach, we're going to go to the far left.
Zach Buchanan, AZ Central Sports. Coach, did you intend to use Blake as much as a runner as you did, and what does it add to your attack when he can do that?
Well, you know, they were climbing the running back a little bit, and we've always had those plays in the repertoire, you know, as far as calling them, and they just gave him the play a little bit more today where he kept it. Most times people have somebody on him taking him away, but they were closing on the running back a little hard, and he kept it. And they got some in the draw we had put in for this team. But, you know, he can run. He makes plays even on the run as far as keeping his vision downfield. So, but all those plays were plays that we had in the package all year. They just weren't added. And he just read them real well today and got north and south with the ball.
Before we go to the next question, the UCF locker room will be open until 11:50. It is 11:29 right now, until 11:50 on the aisle.
Martin Rickman, Sports Illustrated. Coach, what can you say about the job the wide receivers were able to do blocking downfield, particularly on Hall's 2 long runs?
I thought outstanding. I always said that you want us to throw you the ball, you got to be able to block. And I said that's where you get the chunk. You know, anytime you see chunk plays in the run game, you usually have a receiver core that's blocking well downfield. And I thought they did a great job of getting hands on people and running their feet. And again, I thought the runners did a good job of utilizing them downfield as far as blockers were concerned. So, you know, it's a complete game. I don't think there's one person you point to where he was a difference in the game. I think everybody had a piece of the game, and from offense to defense to special teams, and you know, that's how I look at it. It's a team game. We play it. It's a we game for us. There's no me's as far as on the team is concerned. They understand you're trying to be the best teammate you can be.
Stay on the aisle.
Coach, you said this year coming into this game, you didn't think your team had played their best game this season. Do you think they played their best game this season tonight?
I think they played partial of the best game in a lot of different times. Obviously, the 3 turnovers I don't think were very good, but right. But I think, you know, the one thing is that the defense, we made up from 2 led to touchdowns. But I thought, you know, the key is that we said all year is worry about the next play. Worry about the next play, and that's what we did. And they took care of business. But I'm happy. I think, you know, the team played well. And, you know, they had some moments there where we didn't play as well. But the one thing I told them that there can't be any 3 and outs. And I think we had like 3 of them or 4 of them tonight, and the rest was succession plays. So it kept the field moving, which was great as far as giving them a long field and us a short field a lot of times.
Coach Tyler Lockman, FoxSportsArizona.com. Can you just speak to Blake's general performance and kind of how his composure helped you guys overcome that stretch of turnovers?
I don't know that he did. How do you know that? How do you know that?
That's just kind of what I saw.
What you saw, all right. Well, I thought that he lost his composure on those 3 plays, right? Yeah. No, but he's been like that all year. I'm only kidding with him and stuff. He's always kept his part. You know, he's never really high, never low. He's right in the middle, and he's always kept his posture where it needs to be. And you're 100% right. I think he came right back and made some big plays with his legs, and also, you know, turned some plays that could have been very bad for us into really good plays, you know, getting the ball downfield. So, you know, I think he played extremely well, and, you know, and he got the MVP, right? And he deserved it. He deserved it. I think he executed very well. So,
Final question for the coach.
Coach, Tyson Summers called the defense tonight. First time in his career he had done so. Quite an assignment, the top-ranked offense in the country. How did you think that he did, and how did you think the defense responded, considering what they were up against?
Well, I think that Tyson did a great job. You know, I didn't get far from him, you know, on the sideline, but I think the defense responded very well. I think Tyson worked extremely hard at getting ready for that game and understood what he had to take away defensively from an offensive standpoint, and I thought the players responded very well to him. And you know, I was very pleased with him. I said after the game, great job, because I thought he did a great job, not just calling some things, but also tempering things so that you can make corrections and move on from there.
Questions for the student athletes? Start here in the front. Please direct them to a specific student athlete.
My question's for Blake. Danny Morales of Valencia Boys. Blake, you've been here through a lot of things for UCF. I believe you were a redshirt freshman when they won their first ever bowl game, and now the first BCS bowl game. Just talk a little bit about what it's meant to you to progress through the whole program like that, and what you think, what legacy you think you may leave here.
You know, that's you know, leaving a legacy is really nothing you have any control over yourself. You know, it's about each week going out and preparing and getting the job done. And you know, like Coach said, it's a we thing, not a me thing. You know, being a part of a team, building chemistry, and being successful on and off the field is what we really strive on. And you know, hopefully that'll be my legacy at the end. You know, he was a big team guy. He played well with other people, and really he was part of a successful team.
Questions here in the front?
This question's for Blake. When you ran that touchdown, it seemed like you looked back and you were surprised that you were so open. Could you comment on that?
Yeah, that was the second time we had gone back to the play. The first time, you know, had a little mishap, and you know
You ran to 85, right?
No.
Yeah.
I ran in the 5s.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But we came back to it. We knew it was there. 85, Kevin made a great block outside, and Torian did a good job of getting up to that outside backer. And the safety came down, and I kind of bounced out. And I guess he fell down or something. I thought he was behind me, but they did a great job of blocking that play up.
Terrence, despite what the defense has accomplished this year, coming into this game, the 13th best scoring defense in the country, 19th overall, people were still saying this is the weakness of the team. They won't be able to stop Baylor. How much did that fuel you guys coming onto the field, and did you get a sense of momentum building at certain points in the game when you were able to get off the field, on third down early on especially?
Yeah, us on defense, we're going through that all week. Coach telling us you had a big challenge coming up. Those guys were fast. We had the challenge of getting lined up, getting set up. Playing our assignments. And us as a defense, I think we took the challenge. And we at times in the games we were able to make stops. To get the offense the ball back. And I think we did a real good job of that tonight. We did give up points. But at the same time we were able to get the offense the ball back so they can do what they do.
Please identify yourself.
Matt Marshall, the Orlando Sentinel. This question's for Rennell. On the 2 touchdown catches, what did you see and what were you able to do to kind of to break away and make those big runs?
Well, before the pass was intended to me, out of my peripheral vision, I seen the safety biting down hard. So before I caught the ball, I was able to read down on the safety, just make a great run and give my God-given ability.
To the right.
Greg DeVries, Baylor Lariat. Rennell, how were you able to create so much space? Tackling was kind of an issue for Baylor tonight. So how were you able to get the separation?
Every day in practice, we go full gear just about every day. Coming out giving great effort in practice, and I feel like it paid off tonight. Going hard in the weight room. I feel like that's been a key thing all season. Just coming out tonight, it just paid off.
Any further questions? We have a couple here. That's okay. Stand now.
Oh, okay. Storm, 2 touchdowns early on those first couple drives, and then I think a key moment when you guys needed to score, you broke off that 40-yarder. What were you guys able to do to establish the line of scrimmage and to be able to break off some of those bigger runs, especially at the middle? It seemed you were able to break through and then make the cut once you got to the second level.
We went over the play over and over again in practice, and the line did an awesome job of creating holes and separation for me to get through, and the blocking downfield for the receivers was amazing too. So that's how I was able to get down to the touchdown.
Far left.
Blake, I know you've got some thinking to do about your future at UCF soon. How much, if at all, will your performance in this game impact the thought process?
Yeah, I said before, it didn't matter. I had no clue, wasn't worried about any part of it. Just wanted to win this game and help this team be victorious. And, that's all I'm worried about right now, and getting this trophy back to Orlando and celebrating.
To the right.
Yeah, for Blake, what's it mean that most of the guys sitting up there weren't recruited by the quote-unquote big-time schools, and yet you guys have, are obviously big-time players?
Yeah, it's awesome to be a part of this. We came in together. We're all within 1 year of each other, and weren't highly touted guys out of high school. We came to UCF on a mission, and the guys in front of us really paved the way. Back to 07 in those years, and we just try and continue to build on the foundation they've really laid out for us, and we're going to try and keep that going.
Here in the front.
Tyrod Valencia voice. The question's for Blake. JJ was talking the other day about how you guys were together on the scout team and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just, as you look over, not a 1,000-yard receiver, you guys have a bunch of receivers making big plays. Can you just talk on your receiving core?
Yeah, I think it speaks to their ability. They do everything well. There's 5 guys we got that can really do anything. They run well, they block well. They're physical guys that can catch and make plays after they have the ball in their hands. We've been together for years now, and I think the chemistry that we get going, 7-on-7 in the summer is a huge part of how we're able to be successful on the field.
To the right.
Shahan J. Raja, Baylor Lariat. This is for Terrence. A lot of you guys on the stage are underclassmen, and you have a lot of underclassmen who are still coming back for next year. What does this mean for next year, this win?
I think this win helps us build on to what we wanted to accomplish next year. And every year for us, I'm the coach, is to win the conference championship. And having the younger guys, that they have experience this year, it's going to help next year so that us as a defense and offense can play even better.
Here in the front.
Tyler Grady, 9news.com. Terrence, this question is for you. A lot of talk about Bryce Petty headed into the game. Obviously had astronomical numbers. Can you talk about what it was like to play against him? Did it live up to the hype?
Yeah, definitely. I think he did a great job out there. We were able to get a turnover on him in a key point in the game when our offense had turned the ball over. But other than that, I think he was everything that we were expecting him to be. A good guy, passing the ball, and he was good athletically, running. So he was definitely everything that we thought of, and I'm just glad we came out with the victory.
On the aisle.
This one's for Blake and Storm. That opening drive, you guys went the length of the field without even throwing a pass. Did you guys feel like that made a statement early in the game?
Yeah, I did. Blake did a really good job of reading what he had to read, and we got down the field, and it was amazing blocks too. So yeah, I think it made a big statement.
Yeah, that was huge. You couldn't have drawn up opening drive any better than that. To be able to come out and really go right down the field at will, really. The offensive line did a great job up front, and Storm has great vision and was able to find holes, and I think I kept one and was able to make something happen. But it was really a good opening drive.
We'll take one more question in the front.
Danny Morales, Valencia Voice. My question's for Terrence. When the offense was there in victory formation, I noticed that Coach O'Leary didn't get a traditional Gatorade bath, cooler bath. Was that is that something that maybe he doesn't like, or did you guys just not get to it?
Oh, I have no clue. I was over there standing next to Rob, just excited to win the game, and I have no clue why we didn't bathe him up, but but it is. But it is what it is, happy to get the victory, and maybe we'll get them later on when we get to Orlando or something.
Thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations. The UCF locker room is open for 9 more minutes. 9 minutes.